Pablo, light it up.
I had to buy the Porsche when I was young. Trap, 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 trap. I had to buy the Porsche when I was young. Trap, 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 trap. Got it out the mud, all they ever wanted was a plug. All my niggas thugs, money coming, gotta get it up.
What's up, sports fans? It's your man D back, speaking my sports talk. All right, check it out, guys. This is a Power of the Mind segment. Thought I'd bring these things back. Appreciate all y'all coming through. Got LeBron the GOAT, Layla in the building. What's up, Ness Mendoza? Appreciate you guys. So, guys, look. To start this off, I want to say this, man. These two young guys, man, it's kind of really unfortunate, this situation that these guys got themselves into a situation like this. But, you know, they just got drafted last year. So, you know, they had contracts going on now. We know this coronavirus situation went down, but the NFL has posted the schedule out, and it doesn't appear that they were going to be slowing down or anything. Like I said, they have their schedule posted. So what these two young players did is really unacceptable. So, you know, it's DeAndre Baker and Quentin Dunbar, okay? These guys were arrested for armed robbery, people. Like DeAndre Baker was cornerback for the New York Giants. 30th overall pick. 30th, guys. 30th overall pick. And Quentin Dunbar was signed by the Seattle Seahawks. So these guys had careers in the NFL. What's up, son? My son Tate Powell in the building. And they decided to do an armed robbery. Now, I want to say this. A lot of this could have stemmed from worries about the coronavirus. You know, guys, because sports, the uncertainty of sports and everything that's going on, this is how these guys earn money. And we got to understand something. These guys just got drafted last year. You just get drafted in the league, you're not getting no money. You know, $400,000 or something. But these guys probably spend a lot of that money before they get it. They have to earn their money, get signed to the team, make the cut the next season, and earn their pay, and then they'll get a nice contract. But before that, they're not getting the big money. So they're worried about what they're going to do since sports has been canceled. And the thing is, Iceman in the building, what's good? Yep, they were together. Yes, Iceman, they were. Johnny Boy in the building, what's good? So, you know, what's going through a lot of these young athletes' minds are, what are they going to do? What are they going to do for money? What are they going to do now with the uncertainty of sports coming back? You know, and where this all kind of ties in, guys, to this Power of the Mind segment is, you know, just the world's lust for money. You know what I mean? Listen, a lot of these guys, let's be honest, back in the day, a lot of athletes used to, if chips got down, they used to go fucking back to work. They would do construction. They would go work on the railroad. They would do something, but they would go back to work, okay? But that's just how it was. This is what these guys would do. They wouldn't go rob someone, but nowadays the lust for money is so deep, and what money can buy you in a certain way of living, that people are willing to do this instead of, when the chips get down, go back to work. Black and Brown Boxing. What's good, man? Give me some thoughts. Real quick, Black and Brown Boxing. I'll tell you something. So this is the Power of the Mind segment that I'm bringing back, and I'm going to tie this story into the Power of the Mind. And I just kind of started with that, but uh, I'm going to give like anybody who wants to talk on the panel like 10 or 15, about 10 minutes up here. You know, five or 10 minutes to say their piece, and then kind of let it rotate because I'm not gonna, you know what I mean? But what's up, brother? How you doing today?
I'm good, bro. I just heard what you were talking about, man, and I just want to tell you, you're hitting it right on the head, bro. It's all about that lust for money, DJ. It's all about the way the money's put out there, and we need money. And you being young, and you think you need money so bad, and you need to get money by any means, and then next thing you know, you find your ass sitting in prison. You know what I mean? I've been through it twice already, bro. In my younger years, me needing money. I need money. I need money. I need to sell this. I need to do this. Next thing I know, bro, I'm in prison. I'm away from my kids, no money. And when I get out of prison, I got to start completely over from ground zero, D. Jeff. So I think what you're saying right now, bro, you're hitting it right on the head with the lust for money thing. And these youngsters just cannot go without having money, you know?
Right, right. And I was
And,
and that's how I was gonna start to, because you just kind of came around here recently, Black and Brown.
yeah.
But I had this segment that I used to do all the time, and you know, for no particular reason, I just didn't bring it back. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But it was Power of the Mind, and it's basically just consistent with, you know, how we can live in life and make things easier for ourselves. But it first starts by utilizing the way we think about things. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So Anthony L. Step in the building. What's good, Anthony L? So and that's why, you know, I just decided to talk about this topic, but also we're gonna kind of, you know, integrate this and see how it correlates with the power of the mind. But I still want to speak about this topic and these young fellas and the uncertainty of, you know, what's going on with their careers, because people have this misconception that these young athletes get this money and then all of a sudden they're super rich right away. No, especially not with the NFL contracts. Those things are shaky, and these guys have to play a year or two before they earn any real money. They're getting league minimum, and league minimum also by they also have like performance based stipulations in there as well. You understand what I'm saying? Because these owners are not trying to pay them anything that they don't have to if they're going to ride the freaking bench all season. So until they get their, you know, solidified contracts, just because they hear somebody got signed by a team, getting signed by a team, don't mean that they have a solid contract. That's what people have to understand about these NFL players. So these young guys, they didn't have a whole bunch of money in their pocket. You know, it's really unfortunate that this corona thing has people that worried about what's the next step, because these guys have lived all of their lives. And let's be perfectly honest about something here. Samuel Shaw in the building. What's up with you, fam? My man Ness Mendoza. Uh let's be perfectly honest about something here. A lot of these guys have been ushered through school. They've been ushered through high school and they've been ushered through college because of their athletic potential and skill set. And they don't really have the necessary fundamentals to survive without the sport. They knew they were going to make the leagues. A lot of these kids knew they were going to make the leagues, and they depended on that. Anybody that's seen the movie Friday Night Lights, it's the Booby Miles syndrome. A lot of this shit has happened to these young athletes. So when they get stuck in a position like this where they haven't, my man UGC Black Horseman in the building. I appreciate you, Black. Appreciate the super chat, my man. He said this shit is fire. Yes, sir. So when they get into a position like this where they haven't earned all of this money that people believe they have, not yet in the NFL, and then there's an uncertainty of if the league is going to come back or not, these kids are right back thinking, damn, I'm not trying to go back to the hood, bro. I was just out of that. And when I say they've been ushered through school, guys, the reason there are laws and rules against payouts because a lot of these kids are getting them. So these kids have been living kind of on easy street. These are the stars. When you make the league, you got to understand most of these kids were high school stars. If they made the professional leagues, most of them were high school stars. Most of them were collegiate stars. So they were getting money the whole ride through. Then they got signed to a major contract, and now all of a sudden they can be gone in the blink of an eye, and these young people panic. Remember, the mandibula oblongata of the brain is not fully developed until the age of 25, and a lot of these young athletes are what? Under the age of 25. They fucking panic, bro. They panic. They don't know where their next step is going to be, and boom. They go out and do something crazy like this. And then people lay a lot of judgment on all this stupid young boy. He had everything in front of him. Well, listen, it's that uncertainty that I have to go back to being poor again. And how do we refrain as people? Because not only young people have this frame of mind, people our age, 30s, 40s, 50s, they also get this frame of mind and get desperate. You guys seen the shows, kill their wives for insurance money. People get desperate, and it's all over money. The lust of money they think money can get them out of. Money can't get you out of anything, bro. Your brain can get you out of it. If your brain couldn't get you out of everything, we wouldn't be at the top of the food chain. That's the blessing we have. That's the reason the human is not the strongest. A gorilla could fucking lift over 2,000 pounds. It can rip your arms right out the socket. Humans are not the strongest beast. It's our brain that makes us at the top. That's what puts us there. We're able to create weaponry, traps, cages for these beasts. Tools. It's the brain. So you don't have to have money. It's the brain that created the whole fucking monetary system. What's wrong with you people? Wake up. That's the first thing we have to realize is we do not need or have to have money to survive. Yes, it's useful. Yes, it's useful. And yes, it's necessary to acquire goods, to pay rent. I get that. But you don't have to go to the extreme. You don't have to go to something that's going to get you locked away where you're not earning any money. You're just costing taxpayers money. I've been there. I've been in the penitentiary and jail multiple times. Okay? We don't make money there. We cost the taxpayers money.
Mm-hmm. We become a burden.
What you want to do, bro. They want you to get that state number because these institutions are privately owned. So when you get there, guess what? If you're costing the state money, well, if the state pays money, who the hell are they paying it to? These privately owned penitentiaries. That's why they want you to get the state money. It's a fucking racket. Guys, so we don't need to do something illegal to chase this money. What do we need to do? Think. First and foremost, think. The lust of money is killing our communities, our societies, our families. We have to release the lust of money. That's the first thing you can do to not end up in a position like these young fellas here. You can teach your children to release. Listen, not even teach your children to release the lust of money. Don't even ever teach them to lust the money, because this lust for the money is taught. It's taught. It's not inherited. You don't fucking come into this earth inheriting a lust for money because you don't have any idea what it is. It's your surroundings. It's your environment. It's what you're taught by your parents, by your older siblings, by your aunts, your uncles, the friends around you. The thoughts of this stuff is being programmed into our minds through the propaganda of the media. Oh, you gotta have this fancy car, this jewelry, these Isuzu jeans and the red bottom shoes, and all of that costs money. The yachts and the G6s and shit. You gotta have all of that, and all of that costs money. And this is what happens. So you're being programmed to think that you need all of these things first and foremost. So how do you acquire these things? Oh, you got to get the money to acquire these things. But it's all a myth. It's all a myth. It just builds the lust. It builds the lust. That's what we have to stay away from. And we have to teach our children to stay away from this so that they don't end up like these two young fellas here, which is extremely unfortunate. Extremely unfortunate.
Yeah, it is. DJ, if I wanted to call in today because everything you're talking about today, bro, you're hitting it on the head, man. I really don't even got much more to add. I just want to say I agree with everything you're saying. It all revolves around the lust of money, and our new society and this new generation, they're tainted with it. Everything revolves around stacks of money, like you just said, red bottoms, the cars. And you want to know what, DJ? It's all la la land. None of it is realistic. It's all a front. It's all a mirage that you see on TV. So then you go out and you chase that shit. You will never achieve that. 95% of us will never achieve that. You're chasing a myth. So it goes back to what you said. It's all about the lust of the money, the lust for the dollar. Like, we don't need it. We can find happiness without money. We can live beautiful lives without money. All you need to do is support your family, pay your bills, feed your family, live comfortably. You don't need this extra millions and dollars, the thousands. You don't need it, man. So, hey, DJ, thanks for having me, man. I love what you're talking about today. You're hitting it on the head, bro. So I'm gonna keep listening, man. Let you get somebody else in here. None but love and respect, D. I'm out.
I appreciate you, bro. Appreciate you coming
Yep.
on.
Yep.
All right. So Ness says the bad thing is youngsters can't see the aftermath of their actions. In my opinion, D. Yeah, I agree with that. Ness. Lewis Sports Network, my brother in the building. Appreciate you coming through. Lewis says smash that like. My man, I buy houses in the building. What's up, Martin Machine? Martin Machine, he said, got to prepare these kids, have a degree to fall back on. I'll speak on that a little bit too, Martin Machine. DJ sounds like you convicting these dudes before they even have a day in court. No, 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 no. I'm not convicting anything. Listen, bro. They've turned themselves in. First Samuel, Sean. We're gonna go over some of this. But I read some reports earlier. But they've turned themselves in first and foremost, Samuel. And then also, bro, there's eyewitnesses on the scene that seen these guys commit the robbery. What's in question right now is the armed robbery part of the whole situation. Because some people are saying they seen a gun and some people are saying otherwise, but one thing's for sure is that they robbed the people. So that's not really in question. And I'm not judging these guys or anything. If they get out of court, Samuel Shaw, as you know, I mean, you know better than anyone. If they get out of court, that definitely doesn't mean that these guys are innocent or anything like that. It doesn't mean that. But here's the article. Here's one of the articles. It's actually a lot of articles floating around about it right now. But this one, New York Giants cornerback DeAndre Baker and Seattle Seahawks cornerback Quentin Dunbar turned themselves into Broward County Jail on Saturday to satisfy arrest warrant in connection with alleged robbery in Miramar, Florida last week. Broward County Judge Michael Davis ruled Sunday that Dunbar be granted a $100,000 bond, $25,000 for each of their 4 armed robbery charges. Baker was granted $200,000 bond, $25,000 for each of the 4 armed robbery and firearm, 4 counts of aggravated assault with a firearm. So, and then there's more. I'm not going to read it all, but that's just the part that I wanted to read to Samuel Shaw. But it's more on the report, and I've actually read this report, and there's a couple of other reports that I read, guys. There's more to the report, and like I said, I've pretty much read most of them pretty thoroughly. And here's the thing, like, I don't think that there's a whole lot of question on the robbery. They did commit a robbery. So it's going to end up being an armed robbery or a strong arm robbery because they did demand money, jewelry, and they left out of there with other people's things, and they basically forced them to give it up. So that's a robbery. That's pretty much a given. Now, anything outside of that, I'm not even sure, Samuel. I couldn't tell you, yes or no. Um, but getting back to the subject, you know, guys, if okay, first and foremost, like I started out, we don't need money. What we need to do is think. We need to think ourselves first and foremost through most of our situations. Because here's the truth of the matter. If we go back, if most of us go back and find and look through our financial situation, whatever it may be, some people have more, some people have less. But if most of us go back and we look through our sorry, feedback, and we look through our financial situation, uh, I didn't remember changing that, but anyway, um, if we go back and look through our financial situation, most of us have gotten ourselves into whatever hole. If it's we bought a car that we couldn't afford or took on too many bills or whatever the situation is, most of us have done something to get ourselves into the financial hole. But we thought our way into that. So the reality is we can think our way out of it. It might not happen as fast as we would like it to, but there's always a way out of it. Most of the time when people go out and commit these crimes, again, it's because they want the money, or they want to climb out of debt, or they're afraid to go into debt. It's the fear of lack. And that's where we have to start. We can't be afraid of the lack of things. That's a part of the problem in itself. And I think that this is what a lot of people don't understand, man. I don't know why these comments aren't coming through, guys. I don't know what's up with StreamYard, but let me see you guys' comments. Um, Iceman said this could be a form of suicide, knowing they can't get away with it. I'm not sure, bro. They didn't kill anybody. They'll definitely do some jail time if they're convicted. They'll do some kind of jail time. I'm not sure how long, depending on whether it's armed robbery or strong arm robbery. But they're going to do some type of time because they robbed 4 different people. Well, I'm not sure, man. Career suicide for sure, Iceman. It's definitely that. It's definitely that. Anthony L says, the thing that frustrates me about this gives the mainstream media the grand opportunity to take attention off the Michaels and divert it to the 2 young brothers disappointed. Yeah, McMichaels, yeah. Well, yeah, and they will too, Anthony. And it's very disappointing. It's very disappointing and unfortunate. But light is going to be shined on this in the sports community. I'm not sure, like, if this COVID-19 situation wasn't going on, things like this would be blasted around a lot more. You know what I'm saying? It would be blasted around a lot more. So, you know, that's all I could say about that, Anthony. I think because of COVID-19 and everything's going on with the economies opening back up and the economy shutting back down, and there's going to be a lot of backlash from people going out so soon. I can guarantee you that it kind of masks a lot of the things that's happening in the world today. That's why I talked about the young lady that the police broke into her house, and basically committed homicide on her the other day. You know what I mean? That's why I put that live up, because a lot of these things are getting hidden because of the issues that's going on in the world today. Okay, there it is. It kicked in. So, Samuel Wells says, I got charged with attempted robbery before I didn't attempt to rob anyone. That charge was one of the few. I was taken to the box and I beat it. Let's wait until the facts come out. Yeah, I mean, yeah, for sure. For sure. I mean, this is all based upon the fact if they're found guilty. I mean, they have witnesses. Uh, they had enough to, and I'm just saying, okay. So here's the thing, Samuel. I'm not saying that these guys are guilty. It's not even about you're making it about me persecuting these guys and making them guilty. And I don't really want to get away from the point of the topic. The topic is the lust of money, how this story, whether it be true or not, if it's true, okay, it applies. If it's not true, the idea of this story happening applies. So it's not to persecute these two young guys or to say that they're guilty, but this is a story that's in the media now. So if it's true, and these are two young guys who were just signed to the NFL and they decided to go out and commit a robbery, and what I'm talking about concerning the lust of money and everything, if it's not true, the scenario would still apply, Samuel Shaw. So let's not sit up here and make this about me convicting these guys, because basically that's what you're doing. That report and that article is already floating around on TMZ, ESPN, football, NFL Football Network. That report, that article, and the sense of these guys being charged, and you know how the media does, being charged and being assumed fucking guilty already. That idea is already floating around. I'm not putting that idea out there. The only thing I'm really doing, Samuel, is speaking on the idea and why we shouldn't arrive there. So I don't, because I know how you are, bro. You keep digging and you keep digging. So I don't want to make this a thing where you and I go back and forth about am I persecuting these guys? I'm not doing anything, bro. The articles are already out there. The idea that these guys are guilty are already out there. In this country, when you're young, African American, or young and minority, that idea is going to be out there, Samuel. I'm not creating that. So like, let that shit go, bro, and let's stick to the idea of why we don't need to think in this situation, so that ourselves, our children, our relatives, our friends, our loved ones don't arrive in a situation like this. If it was true, whether it's true or not, if they did do it, whether they did it or not, the scenario still exists. It's a hypothetical, but that's all it is. So if it happened, let's talk about it. That's what I'm basically talking about. So, at my house, the information is pretty thorough. The house was full of people. They were having a cookout, but we'll see if they set up. Yeah, yeah. You never know. You never know, and that's why I didn't really want to make it about that. It's not really a debate about if the dudes were guilty or not, and it's not really the point. It's really pointless as if they were guilty or not. Our house was full with my situation too. The laws, Trump charges. See, yeah, Samuel, I've been locked up before too, unjustly, bro. I get it, but that's not the point. So I see your point of view as well. He said, okay. These point is there are upcoming players not earned. Yeah, it makes sense that that they would come to armed robbery, that it should come to armed robbery. That's my point. I don't care if they did it or not. Like, if they didn't do it, guess what? This shit happens. How many athletes do we see out there doing stupid shit for money and all of this, getting caught up, drug trafficking and all of this stuff? So that's my whole thing. And they come from, I mean, not even just athletes, actors, entertainers at any level. They end up finding themselves caught up in some illegal scheme or activity, and it's because of the lust of money. So just the whole idea of it is really what this is about, and what we can do as people in general. It doesn't matter if you're fortunate enough to come into a situation where you will be earning Googles of money. Or if you are the working class blue collar man like myself and most people that are listening, um, the way you think about money is what will lead you to do things like this or keep you away from doing things like this. And that's what this whole topic is mainly about. I just used this situation of these young fellas as a catalyst to, talk about this. They just signed last season, commit armed robbery. So Samuel Shaw, for you, since you're so perceptive, look at the thumbnail, my brother. It says power of the mind. Okay. Then it says just sign yet commit armed robbery. What's after that, Samuel Shaw? Question mark. Question mark. Okay. So did I condemn them or am I asking a question? See? And that's why I set up. So, like, you're perceptive when seeing you're perceptive only where you want to be, Samuel Shaw. Be totally perceptive. And you know, I'm going to bother with you too. You got to look at everything. But anyway, so guys, on a more serious note, you know, what I like to think is this. My wife and I, we say something that money comes easily and frequently. Money comes easily and frequently. Okay. That's just one phrase we say. And we say it all the time, but we believe it. Like, it's not hard to get money. And I've actually believed that for a long time anyway, but that's another story. Well, you could get money. Okay. So money comes easily and frequently, easily and frequently. A lot of people, especially in lower income. And when I say lower income, guys, let's get it straight. If you're not making $1 million a year or more, lower income. Okay. So a lot of people in the lower income status, they kind of think opposite. You got to work hard to get money. Money don't fall off trees. I don't shit money out my ass. You know, y'all heard all of the sayings. And that's the thoughts about money. That's the thoughts that we're raised under. What do you think I'm made of money? You know what I mean? Your parents tell you this, you always hear these phrases and these thoughts about money. And so this is how we think about money, that it's difficult to come by, it's hard to get, only the rich and the scrupulous and the ruthless mega rich. And it's all myths. It's all myths. But that's what we're trained to think from childhood. So a lot of people think that way, that money is hard. But my wife and I, we got this thing: money comes easily and frequently. Money comes easily and frequently. Easily and frequently. Easily. It always comes, no matter what. We can get it, no problem. And so it's not just an affirmation in the fact that we say those things. We actually feel that way. And I'll tell you right now, a lot of times that I don't even expect money to come my way. Someone will send me money. One of my relatives will send me money, or an old friend of mine, or just like, hey, I remember when you did such and such and such. And whatever could happen. I just got an unexpected windfall or something, and they'll send me a couple of bucks. Like, this type of thing happens all the time. Or somebody will give me a call and they say, "Hey, man, I had you on my heart, and I know you've been out of work or whatever," which they don't know what my financial status is. But the last time they heard from me, I had gotten sick and I couldn't do construction anymore, which I'm pretty much still in that, sort of in that. And they'll just send me some money, right? These are not things that I'm asking for. These are things that just happen. And these type of things happen all the time for me, right? Which means, am I working for that money? Am I going out there busting my hump to get that money? Or is it coming easily and frequently? Like, it's coming easily because I'm not doing anything for it. So it comes less to the point of it being affirmation and I'm just thinking that way, to it actually happening that way. And that's what eventually happens, is that once you really believe it, then things will start happening that way. But if you always believe that money's so hard, then you always turn around and you ask yourself, man, I don't understand why this is happening to me. I don't understand. Every time I turn around, something else is costing me money, because that's how you think about it. And then this will lead you to get into desperate times, or it could lead you, not will, but it could lead you to get into desperate times. And then you would decide to go out there and rob someone or do something illegal to get some money. And that's how some people end up in this situation. And it's not far fetched to think that two young kids could do it. You know what I mean? Because again, you have these billionaires, these moguls, these guys, like that shit that happened with Capital One. These guys have billions of dollars, yet they're still trying to scam to get more. They already have billions of dollars, but they still ran a scam. They took people's life savings. They didn't do a day in jail. They were fined a mere pittance of what they made off the scheme. And they live and sleep in their beds just fine with that. So what is enough? How much is enough? You know? Do you think people like that feel like I feel about money? I mean, they have more money than you can think of, but they're still scamming and willing to put people in poverty to get more. So obviously they don't think about money the way I think about money, and I don't have anywhere near as much money as they have. When is enough enough? I don't even give a shit about money. You have billions, and I don't even have 1 million in my account, not even a single million, and you have multiple billions, 17, 18 billions. That's a million thousand times over they have that. I don't have 1 million. And they lust money so much that they would destroy families, life savings, just to stack more. The lust for money kills a lot, and it causes people to do crazy things. And so, you know, again, guys, we have to think about money in a different way. It all starts in the mind. We have to think about money in a different way so that it doesn't lead to situations like this. You know, if these guys play hard, show up to practice, work hard, they'll get $1 million contracts. And you know, if I'm not mistaken, you know, we could go back to the article right here. Uh, but if I'm not mistaken, they didn't even. Okay, so law enforcement says, yeah, this is what's really crazy about this, guys. So, like I said, if they work hard, you know, play ball, they're going to get, you know, at least 680, $700,000 contract. So, law enforcement says the men made out with more than $7,000 in cash. Okay, 3,500 bucks a piece, along with several valuable watches, including a $18,000 Rolex, $25,000 Hublot, and pricey Audemars. Okay, one witness told the cops they had a Baker and Dunmore party a few days earlier in Miami, in which an NFL player had lost around 70,000. So somebody reported that they had done this at another party, but hadn't been caught. Now, of course, that's hearsay, but listen, guys, my whole point is, if you could even make $700,000 a year, $7,000 in cash, and basically 43,000 or $53,000 in jewelry. I mean, come on, guys, come on. That's how silly this is, and the lust of money led these guys to this, and that's my whole thing. You know what I mean? About Hauser says, I'm about to dip great. Change up on live. The great topic. Oh, I appreciate that, Joe. And thanks for coming through, my man. Um, that's what's good for people. Had talent and showed it. Yeah. You gotta hone that talent and utilize it, like Bill Gates. One of my cuz stole 100 million. Yeah. Well, yeah, man. I mean, like these guys, they need more and more and more. And it's not only them, it's even guys like on the street level, a lot of these hustlers, they have a lot where they can help the community out, but they just need more and more and more and more, guys. It's because it's this lust of money that's been built up. We got to understand it's a societal thing. It's definitely a societal thing. Even though it's a world problem, it's still a tribal belief, this lust for money. Because everyone around the world don't have this lust for money. So you guys gotta understand that this is true. Because everyone's desires are not the same as the next man. You think about people in the third world country. If they were living in just the projects, now a lot of us would detest living in the projects right now. And that's because we're American and we've grown up with a certain standard of living. I don't live in the projects. I will assume most of you guys listening right now do not live in the projects. The projects, basically, for you guys, UK fans and the guys that's foreign to America, the projects are basically the lowest income properties in this country, basically the worst neighborhoods to live in. So I would assume that no one here is living in the projects, right? Because we're not accustomed to that standard of living. But I'll tell you something about mindset and the lust. You know, Ness said it's like Robin Hood myth. Yeah, right. So I'll tell you something about mindset and lust of money. People in third world countries would take these projects that I'm talking about. And again, guys, these people that live in the projects get also what? Food stamps. So they'll get food that they can eat, and then they'll get medical care. Okay, and so they'll have lights, water, medical care, and food stamps. People in third world country right now would love that. Whereas the mindset of a lot of people, just like ourselves, that's lowly property. That's a low way of living. No, 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 I can't live like that. I can't put my kids through that. Where people from third world countries would love to put their kids in that position. You guys understand where I'm coming with this? So it's all about the mindset, because the desires are only built around what you've been taught, what you've been taught to be accustomed to. It's not what you have to have. People always say, well, you need money to do this or you need money to do that. Well, you need money to do this and that if your standards are to a certain level. Then you're going to need a certain amount of money to do that, but only because you've built it that way, because you've made it that way. It is your expectations that say, I need to have this, 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 this if I'm going to live. But the facts are, out of all the countries worldwide, and it's hundreds of countries worldwide, there are only 13 countries that live at the standards that all of us talk about. And that's a fact. So out of the hundreds, the many hundreds of countries, the standards that we're talking about, that we can't live without, that you have to have money, that you have to have money, only 13 countries out of the hundreds of countries worldwide live at those standards. And that's a fact, people. Everybody else around the world live at much less means than that. Much less means. The whole world. So it's the mindset. We have to change our mindset. We have to teach our children to think differently. And like I said, I'm not telling everybody to be irresponsible with money or don't give a shit. No, we have to have it's a monetary based society. So you have to and you have to have a way to earn monetary, barter trade or something, so that you can buy goods and operate. I get that. But you don't have to lust the materials. You don't have to lust. First, you can start by curing the lust of money is by not lusting materials, not having to think you have to have the best of the best clothes, the nicest of the nice home, the best of the best car, the jewelry, the bling, the unnecessary vacations. Sometimes we all need a break, but a break could be a walk in the park with the family and a picnic on a Sunday. It doesn't have to be going to the amusement park and spending $1,200 on the weekend. See the difference? It doesn't. So, how much would a walk in the park and a picnic cost you? Hell, if you even want to splurge, $60. That's on the food and everything else. How much did I just say about an amusement park? $1,200. So that's $1,200 versus $60. And if you wanted to go overboard and get you a nice bottle of wine, okay, $120 for the picnic. Wow, $120 versus 1,200. That's 1,200% difference. So it's all about what you want, what you find as relaxing, or what you find as, okay, this is what I like to do for entertainment or my leisure time. If the commercials and television shows and the rappers tell you that what's fun on your leisure time is taking a trip to Paris or going down to Cancun, Mexico, or visiting Belize, or going to Milan to go shopping, or Dubai, if that's what they tell you and you believe that's the status you have to get to for when you're really having fun, then these are the thoughts that you're going to have about that. And it could lead a lot of people into feeling that they're desperate and have to do something like these young guys did. So, guys, it's all about how we perceive our desires, our needs, the requirements of how we want to live. And that's what we need to change first. If we want to change at all, and I'm not telling people how to think. If you're fine with the way you think, and then you don't feel like you're confined by money, because a lot of people are confined by money, and they're confined by money because of their desires. Like, are you satisfied with your home? Or do you think about your uncle's home or your friend's home and say, man, I wish I had a nicer home? Because when you say to yourself, I wish I had a nicer home, I wish I had a nicer home, I wish I had a better car, I wish I had this. When you start that thought process, then you already starting to give yourself a demand to get those things. And then that's when the need, or the feel that you make you feel that you need the money, that's when that will kick in. That's when those type of things will kick in. So we have to make a start from our desires in our personal life. If we don't require ourselves to have so much, then it's a good chance we won't require ourselves to earn or bring in so much money. See, that's the thing. That's what we have to think about. So I'm gonna like I said, guys, every Sunday I'm gonna bring the Power of the Mind episode in, and we'll talk about some things. And I think that it's a good idea to attach this episode and how we can think, or how we can change our way of thinking, so that we don't lead ourselves down the path to feel tempted to do something drastic to get ourselves out of a situation. Because again, I don't want to put any heat on these young guys. I want to give them all the benefit of the doubt, saying that they were desperate. And I do believe that they were desperate because of the uncertainty of sports in this country and worldwide. The fact that they're not super rich like people may think, and they have to worry about getting money, and they're afraid to go back to poverty. And they, desperate times, in some people's mind, desperate times calls for desperate measures. So these two young guys, I suppose, devised a plan to go out and commit a robbery, and it just didn't work out for them. Money is supposed to chase you, not the other way around. Correct, Anthony? That's the thing. Like, I always tell people, because I consult with people, and back and forth. Uh, about business ventures and so forth, right? And I always tell people, like, you don't chase the money when you're in business. You don't chase the money, you chase the business. And here's the idea on that. If you chase the business, if you chase making the business the best it can be, building the business where it's noticed and the public wants your product or your service, whatever your business is, if you chase quality affiliates and employees, if you chase producing the business, the money will follow. Because what happens with any good, well managed business? It makes money. And as that business grows, what happens? It makes more money. And if you're doing the business correctly, chasing the business, and it's managed well, and your money's managed well, what happens? It retains more money, which means you pocket more money. So you don't chase the money, you chase the business. And that's the analogy that I'll put with what Anthony L was saying. Is money is not supposed to chase you. It's the other way around. You win the lottery and you come into $100,000. Okay, you can go spend 100,000. Well, you won't spend it all. You'll probably pay 32 grand in taxes. So you can spend the 68,000, or you can invest 50,000 and blow off 18,000. Well, if you invest the 50,000, you've just created a source of income. Now money is coming after you. But if you blow off the whole 68,000 and say put a down payment on a house and a couple of cars, and okay, I'll save 10,000, put that in the bank for hard times. Okay, that's a plan. But you just created a mortgage, debt, a couple of car notes, debt. Now you owe, you took that 68,000, you got 10,000 in the bank, but now you owe, depending on the house you got, $300,000 or $400,000 between house and car notes when you started off with 68,000 to the good. That's the difference. That's the mindset, man. When you could have took $50,000, invested in something, into whatever, even if it's only making, even if that $50,000 is only making you $500 a month, which is 1%, which is, yes, it's horrible, but it's earning you $500 a month. It's better than you turning that same $50,000 into a $400,000 debt. Let's think about it, people. But people in lower income, that's what we tend to do. We tend to turn that into a lower, that windfall into more debt. Now this just created more of an issue when we can't pay that mortgage or that car note, repossession, foreclosures. See, we create these things. And it's because of the mindset. And that's why I tell people, let's not say that we can't think our way out of situations. We can think our way out of all of these situations because, believe it or not, we think our way into these situations. That's just the facts, people. I'm just one that have accepted and acknowledged the fact that it was me that thought my way into the income level that I'm living in. I don't blame anybody for that. And when I get out, I'm not going to give anybody credit for that. If, as my income level that I decide to reside in, as that increases or gets nicer or whatever, no one gets the credit for that. But no one gets the blame for me being where I am now. And no one should get the blame for anyone being where they are now. Not the white man, not the government, not anyone, bro. It has to be you. You have to start with you. It have to start with your thought process. Why you think Jeff Bezos is so successful? He's on the verge of hitting trillionaire status. That's what they say. But there are trillionaires out there now. You never see the Rothschilds in Forbes, do you guys? See, there's a reason you see Jeff Bezos in Forbes, Bill Gates, Edu Slim, Warren Buffett. It's a reason you see these guys in Forbes magazine, and the whole world is privy to their finances. It's a reason for that. Do you guys understand that people like the Rockefellers, the Johnsons, the Morgans, the Rothschilds, you don't see these people in Forbes. You see the Waltons and Bill Gates and Berlioz and these guys in Forbes. You don't see the princes and the royalty like out in the Middle East and in India and Africa. You don't in England. You don't see them on Forbes, right? And there's a reason for that, guys. So I just want to express this, Anthony L, when we talk about Jeff Bezos. The reason you see Bezos and Gates and all of these guys in Forbes, because it's all bullshit. They're not the richest people on earth. This is what we're being led to believe. The Rothschilds makes the money that Bezos and Gates and these guys have look like mere peanuts. And that's a fact. How is it that these people sit at the head of everything? You think about this, Anthony L. How is it that that family sits at the head of damn near everything worldwide? They own all, and when I say all, umbrellas of telecommunications. They own all of that, Anthony L. All of the umbrellas of telecommunication, anything you could think of, right? And they sit at the head of all of these boards and everything. This is the Rothschilds. But Jeff Bezos is the richest worldwide? No. People like that, they have trillions already. They're so rich that Forbes get away from us. There's no need for you to be in our business. It's no need for you to be in our finances. And the world doesn't need to know what we have. Another thing is, if the world knew the wealth that these people had, it would be mass hysteria, because these people already have trillions of dollars of control, which means they could not only bail out countries like that. $1 trillion that Donald Trump supposedly borrowed, or what? Where the fuck do people think the money is coming from? I mean, people, look, let's open our eyes and be real about this. If Forbes fucking magazine is telling you that Jeff Bezos is on his way to becoming a trillionaire, right? Because he's worth like $100 and something billion already. Okay, right? But he's on his way to becoming a trillionaire. And he's supposed to be the richest man in the world. Come on, people, think about this. Follow me here. And he's supposed to be the richest man in the world, right? Where the fuck does Donald Trump borrow $1 trillion from? It has to be a source. If you guys don't let your memory slip away from you, Barack Obama borrowed almost $1 trillion. So that's 2 presidents and almost $2 trillion borrowed. But Jeff Bezos is the richest. Where the fuck is the $1 trillion coming from? Jeff Bezos does not own the Federal Reserve. The Federal Reserve is a private-owned institution, but Jeff Bezos ain't the owner of it. The Federal Reserve is the bank for multiple nations, right? And there's owners of this. You guys really think that the Federal Reserve that funds the United States, first and foremost, the biggest economy worldwide, and other economies, doesn't have a mere $1 trillion? Like, that's media hype, bro. Jeff Bezos has a mere pittance. There are princes in Saudi Arabia, princes and royalty in Africa. The Queen of England, that family. Jeff Bezos, you think Jeff Bezos have more wealth than them? Fucking please. They have trillions. The jewels and the gold alone that they have in their vaults are worth more than Jeff Bezos' entire fortune, bro. And that's a fact. Believe me on this when I tell you. That's a fact. The people out there that are so rich that Forbes does not get into their finances or into their business, and they don't plaster their name all over the media. If anybody's name is plastered over the media by Forbes, they're not the richest on earth. And that's the fact. But anyway, going into that, yeah, Zuckerberg, another one, Facebook guy now, not even Raider of LA. What's up, Raider? Anthony says that's true. Yeah. Who wears a mask? First D or Trump? I don't know. That's a good question, Scott. I don't know. I think neither of us. I think that's one thing Trump and I probably see eye and eye on. We'll probably go down dying without putting a mask on our face. Scott Brown. I'll say that like I'm like dead honest about that, bro. If someone has some thoughts and they want to come up right quick and give some thoughts on today's segment, I'll drop a link in the chat. I'm just letting one person come up at a time and speak, for 5-10 minutes or so. Anthony L says, you saw quick the government found trillions for that stimulus package, which lets me know they have money to give black people our 40 acres in a mule have our reparations. Yeah. Reparations wouldn't solve a goddamn thing. But yeah, I feel yeah, they have the money to do all of that, bro. But it wouldn't solve anything because listen, bro, I don't care how much money or land you give anyone. If you don't know how to manage it, you're gonna lose it all. You're gonna squander it away. You're not gonna be able to upkeep it. And that's just the facts of the matter. Most black folks that I know, and I'm only not stereotyping all black folks in this country. And I know a lot of black folks, literally thousands, but most of the black folks that I know wouldn't be able to manage 10, $15 million if you just slapped it in their lap. And I think that you could agree with that, Anthony L. They wouldn't. They just wouldn't be able to manage it. I don't buy into the Illuminati, wear one and vote. Yeah, I don't buy into all the conspiracies, Illuminati. I think that there are elitists, Scott Brown. I think there are secret organizations. I think that there are people with money that wish to do, what people would perceive as evil or bad things. But I don't necessarily buy into all of the conspiracy theories and what people believe it is or what they're calling it. So I'm with you there. As far as wear a mask and vote, Scott Brown, what I also don't put full faith in is Western medicine, which if you're saying wear one, then you put full faith into Western medicine. And my problem with Western medicine is, Scott Brown, let's not be fooled again by the media because there are actual doctors that have practiced and they're saying that people are being lied to. There are actual doctors speaking out against it. So they're uncertain as if we should be putting these masks on, wearing them all the time or not. And these are medical doctors who have spent their life trying to save people. The media is trying to silence these doctors, but how are we just going to put faith? And then how would we put full faith into Western medicine when it changes on us every freaking 5 years? Do you know vaccinations have never cured anything, Scott Brown? Vaccinations have never cured anything. They're only treated. So I don't put all faith into Western medical either. And that's what's telling us to wear a mask. One more thing, Scott Brown, is I don't put 100% faith into government, not American government systems worldwide, because they've all been flawed. So just to comment for me to wear one and vote, I don't necessarily agree. What I don't do though, Scott, is I don't push my ideas on anyone else though. I'm not telling you not to wear one and not to vote. That's your preference. And I don't have a problem if you do that or not. But I'm I'm not to be convinced of those things, but I have my reasons. And it's not rebellion. It's not conspiracy theories. It's legitimate reasons, my man. You know what I mean? Ness says, agreed, D, appreciate you. Ness, the Illuminati was on Y brand name like Freemasons in my yeah. I mean, people come up with all of these stories and what they believe in because they don't understand and they don't know the truth. South Korea had COVID-19 before USA, and they wear masks as the culture is less than 300 dead total. Yeah, I feel you. I feel you. South Korea also has few hundred million people less than the United States too, Scott. See, and that's the problem with the media reports. They put out these numbers, but when you look at per cap or you look at ratio, a lot of these things are to be taken into account. So they can say, yeah, they only have less than 300 dead. And then what's been proven already that has come out, Scott Brown, is a lot of reported deaths in America that has been caused by COVID-19. They're finding out have not actually been caused by COVID-19. So the numbers of deaths caused by COVID-19, Scott, are being heightened. And if we're not getting actual numbers, what does that really mean that they have less than 300 dead when they have hundreds of million people less than in this country? And also, not only do they have hundreds of millions of people less than in this country, the numbers in this country are being exaggerated, highly exaggerated, that are actual deaths dealing with COVID-19. You have to take all that into account. And that's why I said you don't, when you basically what you're giving me facts on or what you're giving me information on is based on what you're getting from the media. It's not all true. The mask stopped the spread again from the media and the medical system. Scott, I mean, I feel you, bro. And if that's how you feel, I suggest you wear a mask and gloves and make sure you do that if it makes you feel safe. And, I suggest you do that. Ness says, LOL, vaccines are only preventions. Yeah. Yeah, they don't cure anything. What about smallpox? What about smallpox? What about smallpox? What about the bubonic plague, Iceman? Right? So you think about things like that, the bubonic plague, where there wasn't these vaccinations, but society, did it wipe out the entire society? The bubonic plague, Iceman? See? And somehow the human race was still able to overcome because the Almighty has built into our systems the ability to overcome viruses and bacterias and infections. We can overcome that with what we have in our systems. If we eat right, we exercise, we don't have to have things pumped into us or depend on Western medicine that's trying to figure it out. This is how, when you look at older plagues, let's not talk about the plagues when medicine was involved, because there's a lot of plagues that modern medicine weren't involved in, but we're still here. That's what we have to think about. And it was no miracle or mystery that we got through those things. Our bodies were meant to get past those things. Atlas Lion in the building. What's up? Mask is not for the benefit of the wearer, and so you don't spread it to others. Well, here's something I want people to think about when it comes to that mask. So there's doctors saying that basically everyone has the coronavirus in them, right? Now, this is also a myth or a theory that's going on around the medical industry. Y'all have to listen to this now. Don't try to tell me everything that the medical industry is telling you guys, but not be willing to listen to information that's out there, but they're not posting and pushing all across the media. Okay. So there's also information that we already all have the coronavirus in us. Okay. If that's the case, why would we be spreading anything? If it's already in us all, how would we be spreading it? How does this make sense if we all have it already? Then there's another theory from the medical industry now that anyone who was vaccinated with influenza or similar vaccinations for this type of virus was vaccinated by certain animals that already contain the coronavirus. So if you were previously vaccinated, you already have the coronavirus in you. So there's two different theories from the medical industry that how and why most of us or all of us already have coronavirus in us, but we're supposed to wear masks not to spread what we already have. You see? So again, and they've already admittedly come out and said they're not sure if we should wear masks or not, but to do it to be on the safe side. So all of you people that's like they're going back and forth with this stuff. We have no validity on anything. It was originally a joke, but I think people should wear masks. I think people should wear masks if they feel comfortable and they feel like that's what they need to do. I think that people should wear masks too. I really do. Atlas Lion agreed my point. Yeah, but again, that's still all coming from the medical industry, guys. So I'm not like again, I'm not against wearing masks, but people are asking me. See, here's the thing. I'm not against anyone wearing masks. It's not airborne, so how would masks help? Yeah, I mean, it's a whole lot of hoopla about it, Iceman. They say that it's not airborne, but wear a mask so that you don't spread it. I don't know because of vaccinations. Yeah. But here's the thing with me, guys, and I mean, I really think it has to be said because I don't choose to wear a mask. People keep coming at me about these masks, man. Like, I don't, none of you guys have ever heard me running around pushing, stop wearing a mask, don't wear a mask. You guys take those masks off, don't wear a mask. I'm not pushing that narrative. I'm just deciding not to wear a mask myself. And now everyone's coming at me telling me why I should wear a mask as if I have to agree with a system that I don't particularly have any faith in. I don't have faith in Western medicine and I don't have faith in governments. And basically, Western medicine and governments are the ones telling you guys to put the mask on. So you guys are basically trying to force me into an idea from two organizations that I pretty much don't have faith in that they have our best interests at heart. I don't feel like the medical industry has our best interests at heart. And if you guys ever set back to think about it, I mean, while you're trusting in everything that they're telling you guys, do they really have the public's best interests at heart, the medical industry? Because they put all of these pharmaceuticals out there and they keep people drugged up and doped up so that you do what? They can keep getting the government to keep funding Medicare and all of this, funding all of these programs for the pharmaceutical companies in the medical industry. Why do you guys think that surgeries and medical care is so damn high? Even if you don't pay it and you have insurance, somebody's paying it. It's coming from insurance companies. It's so damn expensive for medical care just to make sure that people are healthy. Why is the expense so high? So if they don't produce pharmaceuticals that you have to depend on, that you need to rely on, if you stop taking these pharmaceuticals, you start having blood pressure problems or heart problems or this, that problem or that problem. They don't want to cure anything. If they cure anything, curing stuff doesn't make money. But this is the faith that you guys are putting this is the system that you guys are putting all of this faith into. A system that is a cycle of payments, basically. How many people in this country get sick and don't have to rely on the medical institutions and spending thousands of dollars in their hard-earned money on health insurance, and the health insurance companies are spending literally millions of dollars on health care? You guys don't see the racket in this? And every fucking 5 years, they're taking major drugs off the shelf because they're finding out, oh, that don't work. Let's scrap it. Oh, we get a $2.7 billion class action lawsuit. Oh, well, we made $110 billion off of this. Yeah, pay the lawsuit off. Let's put the next drug out there. And the whole fucking public keeps falling for this shit and having full faith into this Western medicine system that's using us as fucking guinea pigs. And now people are trying to force me to go along with the ideals of this system. You guys see what I'm saying here? Do you get my point of view? Because it's this system that's telling us about the man. It's this system that's telling us what we need to do. It's this system that's telling us that we need to be vaccinated. I mean, come on, guys. Like, can I have my choices for what I would like to do? But I do have valid reasons. It's, again, I'm not just being rebellious or going it. I just don't have faith in that. Lord High Executioner said, Max, make you inhale the carbon dioxide you exhale. Beware of them. I mean, guys, look, for as many things people can say as we should, it's reasons that people are putting out there that says we shouldn't. CDC says masks don't work. Look, Center for Disease Control. D, I'm like you. I believe I'm spiritually protected. Yes, thank you, Atlas Lion. That's where I'm at. But those without faith are not protected. So mask is best for them. That's what I'm saying, bro. That's what I'm saying too. Like, if you feel like you need to wear a mask and gloves, then by God, do it. And that's why I keep saying that, Atlas, because that's why I'm saying do it. And I think that people that are in the realm of what you're talking about, Atlas, then they have that doubt. They don't have full faith in the creator. And I'm not taking shots at any of you guys out there. Again, I'm not, I put in the title, this is not to challenge anyone's religion or beliefs or anything, but especially people when it comes to religious beliefs of whether it be Catholic, Mormon, Muslim, whatever. If you're telling me that, and I don't care what you call the creator, the all power, the almighty, okay? If you call him Allah, Jehovah, it doesn't matter. If you guys are telling me that you spiritually believe in the creator, which I spiritually believe in the creator, okay? And you guys are telling me that you believe in that, then why are you putting so much faith in medications and a medical system that man has devised? I'm putting my faith in the creator. And I explained this earlier. There are plagues and viruses and infections that we can talk about in the history, the past, that where there wasn't vaccinations, but yet the human race still survived and it still thrived. And that's because the creator, whatever you may want to call the creator, the almighty, has designed this finite suit, this flesh suit of ours, to be perfect. This body's perfect. It can overcome these viruses and illnesses and bacteria. We don't have to have foreign chemicals pumped into us. We don't have to depend on Western medicine that change their idea every 5 years. I'm going to depend on the Almighty and the things that I've studied, and that's my choice. But I'm not telling anybody not to or do it or whatever, man. Like, everybody has their choice, and I'm allowing you, I support you guys having your choice, support mine. That says, yep, appreciate that. Alistair49 says, I wear a mask because they tell me to. Well, see, there you go. There you go. And at least you're being honest, Alistair, and I appreciate that. Atlas Lion said, I'm with you 100%, bro. I appreciate that, Atlas Lion. Gucci Kid said, yep. Yep. Appreciate that, Gucci. Amen, D. Thank you, Ness. Appreciate that, bro. Just putting your faith in idols. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. And it's not what you want to do. So, guys, look, that's going to be our segment today. I hope that helps someone. Anybody watching the playback, we're going to do this every Sunday in the community post. I just gave a schedule of Speak Your Mind Sports Talk. I'm going to start doing things more consistently on a consistent basis so that we can have something to look forward to. I've been kind of floating around randomly, but ever since we monetize now, I'm trying to take this channel, guys. We're going to take this channel to a new level. We're going to do something. We're going to do things differently, but it's going to be good. But it starts with consistency. So I got Speak Your Mind Sports Talk daily live going now, guys. I'm cranking it up, and it starts this coming week. Daily live, Monday through Friday. We're going to have a live every day. And I've scheduled in game time. So like I said, just check out the community post, the new schedules up there. Everything y'all can depend on, it'll be here. If nobody's on live, y'all have a schedule. So you know what we're doing. But Power of the Mind is going to be every Sunday. We're going to have a Power of the Mind session. And we're going to talk about things that's going on in the world and give our perception on it. So I appreciate everybody coming through. And we brought Power of the Mind back. It's back in action. And y'all know how I always in this thing. It's not sports, but for the love of sports. Let's talk about it. Peace.